Hi everyone and welcome back to the George Collection. I'm Rachel, Right Side Blonde. George Magazine has been calling the future for a while, it seems. Whether it's coincidence or something else, it's been interesting. For me, it was the survival guide to the future that really piqued my interest and what caused me to want to dive into these magazines. It wasn't until I found the inaugural issue that I started my George Collection and therefore this show. Over the course of the last year, I've highlighted different articles in the George magazines and also different coincidences that I found within the pages of them. Coincidences like the survival guide to the future and the lung attacking virus. Coincidences like enjoy the show, the song You Can't Always Get What You Want, and also Donald Trump being featured on the 47th cover of George. I've used this show to help you, the viewer, and myself to connect some dots with things that have been going on for longer than we probably realize. Was the purpose of George Magazine an effort to entertain Americans with politics, to entice them to take a more active role in their government, or was the purpose something far greater? After reading through the George magazines, one might conclude that it's just a magazine. It just has information and people decide what they want to think, and it features left and right leaning, contributors, and that's that. But given what I know of George magazine and who's been on the covers and who's been in the headlines and who's popping up in the news even now in 2023, I'm starting to feel like I'm seeing a pattern. Now, were these people chosen for these covers for a reason, or is it just a coincidence? Who knows? All I'm saying is that I'm seeing a pattern between people who were on the George covers and people who are popping up in the news. Here are just some examples of what I'm talking about.
39th president, at home and surrounded by loved ones, including his wife of 7 decades, Rosalind Carter. The Carter Center announcing Saturday the former president is now opting for hospice care instead of receiving additional medical intervention. Carter's grandson writing on Twitter that the Carters are at peace and always their home is full of love. Carter, who turned 98 in October, is a U.S. Naval Academy graduate where he studied nuclear physics and worked in the nuclear submarine program. But his father's death brought him back home, where he ran the family peanut farm. That is until he got into politics, first as a Georgia state senator, then governor.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
And finally, the White House itself.
My name is Jimmy Carter, and I'm running for president.
I just published my Yearhead 2023 letter, looking at what's going to happen in the next 12 months and beyond. Life is changing. I'm about to become a grandfather. I reflect on the challenges we have right now with climate change getting worse, the Ukraine war, tough economic cycle, but it's hopefully uplifting because I also share great innovations. A great example is gene therapy could cure HIV, a AI-powered ultrasound machine that will help save lives of moms and newborns. Climate technologies that will make it so the emissions from buildings go down quite dramatically. I'm excited that we can get back making progress on tough issues. I hope you'll take a few minutes to read why I think we can make the future a lot better than the past. You can check it out at Gates Notes.
News tonight involving Fox News and owner Rupert Murdoch acknowledging under oath that Fox News hosts endorsed false election fraud claims, saying any Fox News executives who knowingly allowed lies to be broadcast on the air should be reprimanded or maybe got rid of. Saying in a deposition, I would have liked us to be stronger in denouncing it in hindsight. Here's our chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
Tonight, we are learning Fox News boss Rupert Murdoch said in a sworn deposition that any Fox News executives who allowed lies about the 2020 election to be broadcast, quote, should be reprimanded or maybe got rid of.
It's not me who's changed, it's the left, who is now made up of a small contingent who've gone mental and a large contingent who refuse to call them out for it. But I will.
Rock claims he didn't know that. The comedian touching on several issues like racism, abortion, and wokeness before ending the set about Smith, suggesting Smith's response to his joke about Jada Pinkett was more about problems in their relationship.
We all been cheated on. Everybody in here been cheated on. She hurt him way more than he hurt me, okay?
So the movie goes like this. The biggest drug cartels in the world get together and buy up all the media and all the politicians and force all the people in the world to stay locked in their homes. And people can only come out if they take the cartel's drugs and keep taking them over and over. I threw the script away. I mean, who is gonna believe that crazy idea?
That's crazy.
To make the loss of these lives matter. My wife and I, Camilla, we spent most of last week on the ground with the families in Uvalde, Texas. We shared stories, tears, and memories. The common thread, independent of the anger and the confusion and the sadness, it was the same. How can these families continue to honor these deaths by keeping the dreams of these children and teachers alive? Again, how can the loss of these lives matter?
Now, could this just be a series of coincidences? Absolutely. But you know me, I'm here to point those out so that you can decide what you think. So what do you think? I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments. And by the way, for those of you who watched my CPAC reel, thank you for your comments. For those of you who wanted to know where to find my hat, you can go to georgeonline.com and then go to buy and then merch, and you can find all the t-shirts and hats that I wore at CPAC. That does it for this episode of the George Collection. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.
Magazine, George, which is a hoot of a magazine. I thought you were a lawyer.
I was.
What happened?
Well, we decided, actually taking a cue from folks like yourself and you around the 1992 election, that there was an opportunity here to change the definition of a political magazine. Certainly the way Americans were accessing information about politics and politicians was changing. Candidates were appearing on late-night talk shows, on talk radio, on sitcoms, and there was a kind of a leveling process. And while the rest of media clearly had caught up with that, we felt that political magazines per se hadn't.
Your mother was a hell of an editor at Doubleday.
That's what I hear.
Would she have liked George?
I think she would have.